Welcome back to our Blinkers oral test tutorial. Now in test 2, there is now a little shift. Instead of vowels in between words, our attention is now drawn to consonants within the words, especially the consonants placed in the middle. If I take a word, for example, connect. Connect is spelled C-O-N-N-E-C-T. You can see here that the double N in the middle of the word dictates and gives us a different sound. That is connect. Now on the other hand, if I have another word which is a homophone close to connect, which is correct, spelled C-O-R-R-E-C-T, then you realize that the sound has changed simply because NN has now turned to RR. Correct. Yet again, let's take a similar homophone. Collect. Now collect is spelled C-O-L-L-E-C-T. Collect. So let's take all the three words in a row. Connect, correct, collect. So as you can see, the beginnings of the words are similar. Likewise, the endings of the words are also similar. So the only distinction that we draw between these three words are the middle sections of the words. And this is exactly the point of the test. The point of the test is for you to either distinguish between the middle parts of the words or the endings of the words. Let's take an example where the endings come to play. Here's an example. Place. P-L-A-C-E. Now let's compare place to a word such as plague. P-L-A-G-U-E. Next, let's consider the word plays. P-L-A-Y-S. As your phonetics teacher might have already told you, when Y and S end the word, Y and S produce a Z sound. Thus, the word P-L-A-Y-S produces the pronunciation plays. You see how this differs from the words place and plague. So again, like I said in this test, it is your duty to pick out the odd word or the word that the tape pronounces and the word ending that you hear. So if the tape pronounces the word plays, then you know that you are shading P-L-A-Y-S. And if this is recorded as C or option C on your question paper, then the answer C is recorded or shaded against your answer sheet. Let's take a look at the last example. Then. T-H-E-N. As you can see, there was a V created in this word simply because of the consonants T and H. Now, that produces a humming sound. Now, let's take a look at a very close homophone, which is D-E-N. Then. Now, let's just take our time to juxtapose the two. Then. And then. Can you tell the difference? It is clear that here, the beginning of the word clearly distinguishes between the two. And so, be careful, since some of these words can be quite deceptive. Finally, the last word on this line is hen. H-E-N. It is clear for all of us to see that hen is absolutely out of the question because it is very odd. In this test, the tape may preferably like to choose the odd one out or would like you to listen and pick your answer based on the word beginning that the tape mentioned. So, in summary, the clues are either in the middle of the words or at the beginning of the words or at the ends of the words. So, in this test, you really need to listen carefully. Okay, so we've gone through the tutorial so far. So here's a test to see whether you've really understood and digested what we've done so far. There will be 5 examples in this short test. So I'm expecting you to pick out the right word. At the end of the test with example or the examples on the tests, I'm going to mention the answers and why those answers are the right ones. Listen carefully. In this test, there are 3 words to a line. I'm going to read one word from each line. Beside the word I read, there is a letter. Shade this letter on your answer sheets. Here are 5 examples. Example 1. Squib. Example 2. Wean. Example 3. Loathe. Example 4. Sing. Example 5. Booed. Okay, so let's take a look at the answers. These are the answers. For example 1, the word I read was squib. S-Q-U-I-B. Now this is the correct answer because out of the 3 options provided, it was the only word that ended with a B sound. As you can remember, the first word in this cluster was S-Q-U-I-L-L, squirrel. Therefore, there was an O. In the second word in that cluster, we had squid, S-Q-U-I-D. And so there was a D ending. So this one was quite easy to mark out. The next, in example 2, the word I read was wean. W-E-A-N. Wean. Now, here, the words differed by their beginnings. In wean, we had W being different. In keen, we had K being different. And in teen, we had T being different. Reason being that in phonetics, an EA, which is a diphthong, a stressed diphthong, creates the same or produces the same sound as EE in the middle of a word. Therefore, all 3 words are stressed, and we could only tell the difference by listening to the beginnings of the words. In example 3, the word I read was loathe. L-O-A-T-H-E. This is so because in all 3 words, there are similarities. There is an L-O-A in the first word, loath, which is loath, because the TH at the end of the word produces an F. This is a consonant cluster and is pronounced as such. In the second word on that line, which was the word I read, you have L-O-A-T-H-E, loathe. Now, as you can see, there was a V effect produced at the end of the word. This is because T-H-E produces a V sound. So, a word close to loathe could be clothe. Again, you see the T-H-E ending. You see? It's that simple. Lastly, the word on that line was load. In this word, the D clearly distinguished itself at the end of the word. And so, listening carefully, it is easier to pick the right word. In example 4, the word I read is sinned. S-I-N-N-E-D. Now, the other words on this line also have the same word beginnings. As you can see, there's an S-I-N, S-I-N, S-I-N beginning each word. it looks like there's a sin in all of these words. Now the differences are the word endings. In sinned, which was the word I read, the ed now produces an effect where the e is not heard. This is referred to as a voiceless vowel. In some other terms, we refer to such vowels as sure vowels. Now, looking at the next word on the line, since. The word ending there was ce, and this remains the same. Nothing changes in this word. Finally, in the last word on this line, you have an ns ending. Usually, when ns ends a word, the ns produces a z sound. So therefore, the word is pronounced sins. See? Let's take that again. Sins. Other examples in this case could be wins, W-I-N-S, or tins, T-I-N-S. And so you see, it's quite easy to tell which word the tape is trying to get you to shape and which one the tape is getting you not to shape. In example 5, the word I read was booed. B-O-O-E-D. Booed. Now the other words on the line are booth. B-O-O-T-H. Now this word is booth, which produces an F ending. The TH produces an F ending. Remember the word loaf in example 3? Lastly, on that line, the word we have is boot. Now clearly we can see or we realize that T sounds at the end of that word. And so it was easy to pick the right one here because boot has an ED ending and differed quite a bit from booth, which had an F ending, and boot, which had a T ending. Well,